I want to welcome everybody to this episode of Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 97.5. I am John Denman.
I am Tom Painter.
Casey Motes.
I'm Casey Motes.
We are hanging out here at Eureka Heights.
We are. On a Tuesday. This is a good way to spend a Tuesday afternoon.
Well, that's when I was trying to figure out what I want to do this Tuesday.
Yeah.
Actually, it started last Tuesday. What I wanted to do. Let's come to Eureka Heights, but we had to push it off another week. But now, not for anybody's fault but my own. But we are here, and in the event it was really we're going to be at Eureka Heights on Tuesday.
And you could have showed up last Tuesday. You could have just hung out.
You did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you show up last Tuesday?
Yeah, we were here last Tuesday.
Okay,
Yeah, we hung out for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was fun. I got to talk to all the brew crew and everybody, just say hello. They're like, "Hey, John, what's going on?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? What are you doing here?" then it was still good. But
Awesome.
yeah, happy to be here today. Drinking some Mini Boss, one of my favorite IPAs that is produced anywhere.
Yeah.
Great.
It's delicious.
Yeah. It's a workhorse.
It's when I first got here, you had another form of Mini Boss that was on tap. That is on tap now.
Yeah, so one of the projects and we've been working on for a while was working with experimental hops. There's a hop breeding company. It's called HBC. It's a combination of two largest really hop growers in the U.S. and worldwide, Barthas and Yakima Chief Ranches. They basically are breeding, 10,000 different hop varieties every year, testing viability, aroma, all these different characteristics. Of those 10,000, a handful, a couple dozen might make it through over the course of a decade. So we're using these experimental hops in a series of 4 beers, taking kind of one of our core brands, tweaking it, dry hopping it with these hops. They're generally not even named yet. They're numbered. HBC 692 is one of them because they don't want to pay a lawyer to go trademark it until they know people actually want to use it. We actually have Mini Boss dry hopped with a new experimental hops. We have Buckle Bunny or Cream Ale dry hopped with a hop that gives it a really cool barrel-aged Pinot Noir character. Just funky stuff. Trying it called Hypotheseries because that way if it doesn't turn out, we just it's experimental. You guys aren't supposed to really know what to expect.
Yeah, it's all R&D.
Yeah, R&D.
Yeah.
But we're on week 3 this week. We've got a Pale Ale coming out with a hop, and then next week is a Hellas Lager that we dry hopped with a hop that's now named because they've done it a few years and just got called Talus. I'm sure that means something in Greek. That's usually where hop names come from. But it's been a really fun project, something we wanted to do, experimental for a while, really highlight what these hop growers are doing as challenging year in the industry. Hop growers didn't know what to expect. So they're always working on innovating, trying these new ingredients, because if one takes off, it can really change their entire farm portfolio. And then, Citra is a hop that we use in a lot of beers, and it's the number 1 grown hop in the U.S. 7-8 years ago, it was kind of this new up-and-comer. So within less than a decade, you can see the agriculture nature of the hop growing industry change substantially. And that impacts financially a lot of farmers. So everyone's trying the new thing because if it hits, it can be a huge windfall for them.
Yeah, no doubt. There's only so much land that's growing hops, and so you want to put whatever the people are really going to buy.
Yeah, hops like anything. We were grape farmers in California, so definitely familiar with you have to make money, and farming's hard. So hop growers might manage 10, 12 different varieties, and some of that's balancing old staples, Cascade, Centennial, these hops that they know there's a market for, but then you have to try these new experimentals. Also worrying about, by the time you transition from one variety to another, you might lose a couple years of good yield. And do you have that built into your business model and all those challenges? So it's one of my passions, definitely the agriculture nature of just beer in general. But hops are fun. Getting to go up to Yakima Valley in central Washington. And
that is a good time.
Yeah, you've been up there.
Yes.
Spend a week, and you just get to go drink beer with hop farmers and hang out with some of the coolest guys in the world.
Just horrible times, too.
Yeah, horrible times.
Worst part of the country you can go to.
Ugly part of the country.
Yeah.
You got to drive through mountains.
Terrain, hills, rivers, clean water. I'm with you. But when you do hop selection, one thing that is cool about this farmer is that you do hop selection and you're choosing hops for the next year. So at least they can plant accordingly.
Yeah.
So it's not like, hey, we have a whole bunch of these hops and nobody's buying it.
Yeah, that's one thing that, I mean, hop growers, like anything, they need to project out. So, yeah, we work in a lot of small breweries. You may not have to, but you're not guaranteed you're going to get the hops 2 years from now unless you have a contract. And so we project out 4 years at a time and work with the growers. And it's part of making sure we're safe, but it's also so the farmers know what to expect. Because, again, if they have to change impact, it might lead to a shortage in certain varieties and things like that. So the better they know what brewers are willing to commit to, the more likely that those hops are going to be actually available for us, because they could still have a drought. There was a giant windstorm last Labor Day that lost about 11% of the yield for the following 2 weeks. So, like, you just can't control that. That's the nature of what's happening. But at least we generally, if we have a contract, then we're in the front of the line. If you don't, then you might be kind of left out in the cold.
Yeah, and miss out on your hops.
Yeah.
And once you you make mini boss, there's a specific hops that you use for that.
Yeah.
And if you can't use those hops, then if you can't get those hops, then you can't make mini boss.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think those challenges as breweries grow, can you source the right materials and cost of goods, all the really sexy stuff about brewing that everyone's here to listen to. Yeah, those are just the different challenges. And yeah, mini boss, it's half Citra, half Mosaic. We can't sub out those hops. They're very unique. And some hops, there might be things you can kind of get close, but that's a flagship beer for us. And we start making that taste different, y'all are going to know. And we're going to hear that real quick.
Oh, those Yelp reviews are going to get awful.
Yeah. Untapped. Yeah, that's
Untapped,
a fun way to spend a Saturday afternoon if you want to hate yourself. So,
That's what all our brewers do with the tap room. They check on tap reviews and like look at Andrew P. This asshole.
Learned that very early in my brewing career. I think my first commercial beer was called Rye IPA was the name of it. And I remember a review that a buddy sent me was, I don't like rye and I don't like IPAs and I didn't like this beer. It's like, well, come on. Like, we're not hiding it. We're not being, it's not a cutesy, dumb name, because we do a lot of that here. So, but back in that time, it was like, we said exactly what it was. And like, I don't know, I'm not that big on like cucumbers. So if I go order like a cucumber platter and don't like it,
might not like it as
then I
much.
might not like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way about olives. And I'm not going to sit there and go eat a muffalata and be like,
where you review olives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a horrible sandwich. Horrible. But Mini Boss is a fantastic beer. And you brew a bunch of lower ABV beers, very sessionable, very clean, very easy drinking. But then every once in a while, you drop like Nuke the Wells or something much.
Well, they all aren't like super low ABV. This isn't,
Yeah, that's what
I don't want to be an ABVist here.
Yeah,
but these are all decently. They're in a good range, John.
I guess so. Yeah.
We started out doing
that's
that.
a good
So
range on the
We've
board.
been talking long enough. That was always what we talked about. And yeah, we still say if it can be lower ABV, if you can have a little less alcohol in it, that's good.
I just like to think that Mini Boss, I can have like 8 of them.
Yeah, no. So
No, you can.
yeah,
We have time.
yeah. Now, we always think that, if you can't have a beer that's a little lighter, not in flavor, but in alcohol, I mean, that means you can have an extra pint. That means you can just maybe have that in an afternoon versus later in the day. And for us, we're all about pairing food with beer. So whenever we're having lunch on a Saturday, if we can have a beer that really complements it well without being just a 9% big thing that's going to make us take a nap for the rest of the day, then we think that's great. That being said, we do plenty of IPAs, plenty of 7-8% beers, but for the most part, we kind of, when we're developing a new beer, can it be 4.5%? Can it be 5%? And also, there's kind of a low range we've seen. So Neon Moon's our current seasonal. It's 4.3%. That's a beer I initially brewed for my wife when she was pregnant. It's about 1.5%, 2%. So you could have half a pint your third trimester and be all right. She could have a cold beer, which is definitely something she was missing. But a lot of people don't want to drink a 2% beer, because if you're going to have a beer, you might as well get a little alcohol in it. So trying to find that balance.
Or a lot,
for sure.
but
yeah.
yes.
Or a lot, yeah. Like John talks about all the low ABV sessionable beers, and he's drinking one of our stronger ones. But
Start up the top, work my way down.
But it's true. John and I go to a lot of bars all around the city, and he's usually, if he's lost on the menu, arms in the air, just give me a mini bus.
there you go.
It's kind of one of his go-tos for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's a quick one. Like, if I see it on the menu, that's usually what I order. Then I look over the menu.
Then I'll
See
start
what else I
reading
want to try. It's just, it is one of my favorites. It is really good. We are here hanging out at Eureka Heights Brewery. Casey Motes is a guest, and trying to think of what beer is going to be next after Mini Boss. It's been 2 of them. It's the experimental hop one, what I started with, and then the good old standard Mini Boss.
Yeah, we just released a new year-round beer in March called Axat. So it's a Norwegian-style pale ale. It's probably a good way to balance out still some hop character, but uses this really old-school yeast from that was rediscovered, I don't know, about a decade ago from a scientist in Chicago. Works for I believe one of the universities up there, but also was running a yeast lab, and they started piloting it. So really funky yeast. It's a beer we did. It's just a unique profile, so I think it'll be a good little way to ease your way back down in the afternoon.
All right.
You can ramp back up in a bit.
Well, let's take a quick break because I am about out of beer, and go and get that refill, and we'll be back. This is Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 975. Stay tuned. New Magnolia Brewing, a great place to bring the family and your dogs while enjoying some excellent beers. Lots of parking and a great outdoor area. Crawfish Chris is back this Saturday cooking up crawfish and all the fixins. Look for New Magnolia beers at HEB's and find them at Total Wine the weeks ahead. Stop by New Magnolia and see what we've been talking about. Great beers, great place, and great people. Search and follow New Magnolia Brewing on social media platforms for special releases and events. Weekends are a great time to check out Megaton Brewing in Kingwood. Jared, Chris, and the gang have created a badass place to kick back and enjoy a few beers. Big stouts, approachable sours, and plenty of hoppy brews are on tap at Megaton. Lots of space to hold your birthday party, corporate outing, or any event in one of the most unique tap rooms in the Houston area. Check them out on social media for their concert and event schedule. Megaton Brewery. Hope to see everyone at the vault. Key T Wellness, our friends down in Dickinson, is where you need to go if you're feeling sluggish, non-energetic, and non-motivated, not just when you're hungover. Get to know your numbers. As we get a little older, our hormone levels change, men and women. Key T Wellness can help. Weight loss, hormone optimization, low testosterone, B12, Botox, and more. Stop in and tell them that you heard it on Drink of Ages and get a free B12 shot. KeyTWellness.com. Why not feel your best again? KeyTWellness.com. Enjoying tonight's show? Have a vision you need to make a reality? Reach out to Hell and High Water Productions. I did. Jason and the crew produce each Drink of Ages YouTube show. Corporate events, concerts, commercials, live streams, they have the skill and technology to make it happen. Come Hell and High Water, they are here to serve you. Give them a call at 832-356-9701. Hi, this is Drink of Ages radio show. Welcome back to second segment. Is that where we are now?
This is segment number 2.
Segment 2. Yeah. Excellent. We're here hanging out at Eureka Heights. Casey Motes is our guest. And actually, before I wanted to say that if you're not doing anything this Saturday, you need to stop by Onion Creek. 11 to 3, DJ Muskrat is going to be out there spinning a bunch of badass funk music. So,
as his way, that is what he does.
It is a good time. Onion Creek is a great place, really good food, and when you add some of his good baby making funk music on top of it, it makes for a good way to start the weekend.
Yeah.
11 a.m. baby making.
Isn't that when most of them are made?
All the creeks are good places. Onion Creek has a special place in my heart, though.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, Cedar Creek's, not even a block from us here. We're there all the time. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cedar Creek is another great place. Sitting outside, enjoying that. They do some decent fried chicken over there, too. Whenever they do their fried chicken days.
And Cedar Creek feels like it's somewhere else. It has a vibe of like, I'm not in Houston. It has that almost that Axelrad feel, right? Like where you kind of get lost in like, where am I? This doesn't feel like Houston, Texas. Per se.
Yeah.
Running that little mini creek, something about it. That little 6 inches of water makes you feel like you're.
Oh, this is good.
You're in the hill country.
Yeah.
You walk by, you see fish,
Yeah.
little minnows, and you're like, hey, look, there's fish.
Yeah.
Let's drink some beers.
Casey, what beer did you give us? This beer's delicious.
I got you guys Axe Hat. So this is our newest year-round beer. It's a Quebec Pale Ale. So just kind of Norwegian Pale Ale. No one really knows what that means. Just use a particular yeast strain. Pretty much all Idaho 7 hops. Really kind of earthy. Got some fruity notes. A little bit of tropical.
What's the ABV on this?
5.3.
So this is an all-day beer.
Yeah, a little workhorse beer.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. And Axe Hat was the name that we threw out. We're like, well, clearly we're not going to use that one. Let's keep going. And something about it just sticking in the back of your head. Got a little Viking on the label. Definitely fun to do something a little goofy, a little different.
It is really good. This would have done well for me yesterday on the golf course.
Oof.
Yeah, golfing on a Monday, drinking beer
It was good.
Tuesday afternoon. That's rough.
It's a good start for what's going to be happening for the next week and a half in
You're
my
going
world.
deep sea fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back like super tanned. Like right now, I'm a little sunburned. Working on it, but
You're going deep sea fishing tomorrow?
no,
I
not
assume
yet.
that's a natural progression
No.
after golf.
John did lay out his 10-day schedule for me, and he was like, I'm really looking forward to not drinking next Thursday. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's pretty good.
There's a lot of activities going up, coming up here for like this weekend. Be in Denver, and
Right.
good things happen in Denver.
Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff. And then we come back on Tuesday, which next week will be the first show at House of Blues. So Drink of Ages live from House of Blues next week with live music, and Galveston Island Brewing Company is going to be
Awesome.
hanging out. So coming back that Tuesday, which between now and then, there's something almost every day that involves probably beer, and
Has to.
yeah. So that's what I was like. By Thursday next week, it's going to be a nice day to relax, and drink lots of water.
Yeah. Like John was saying that his wife was like, John, is this Denver trip just gonna be something where we just drink all the time? And he's like, no, only the first 2 days.
2-day trip.
It's a 2-day trip. So just for the first couple of days, that's all.
Yeah.
But speaking of Denver, the GABF not happening, not happening, and it's horrible.
We saw something. Great American Beer Festival. The festival is not happening.
Yeah.
They're going to do the competition, and yeah, it's obviously the biggest beer festival in the U.S., maybe the world. I'm not sure, but I remember going and just you're exposed to so much. You go to Denver. There's so many amazing breweries there already. And you go in this giant conference hall, and it's all these beer geeks. You get to run around, and 800 breweries represented, or I mean,
Yes.
it's something comical. Like how do they all
Yeah.
fit in there?
But
it's gonna
CBC
go
was
around.
going to be tied with the two this year.
Yeah,
right?
so it sounds like the Big Craft Brewers Conference, our big kind of industry conference, is going to happen.
See you there.
Yeah, so they haven't
we are
really
going to
released a lot of the details yet. There should be some in-person element. It's in September, so hopefully it's far enough away. But yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite excuses to take a trip. It's a work trip, but I get to go to Nashville or Seattle or Washington, D.C. or San Diego.
Well,
or
last year was going to be a perfect one because it was going to be
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah, last
So
year was San
It was a good
Antonio.
excuse to load up almost the entire brewery. We
Yeah.
were going to get an Airbnb, just take everyone out there.
No, we had some crazy Airbnb that was it like sleeps 20 people and was all like Spanish. Like it looked really awesome. I was bummed we didn't get to go just like hang out the Airbnb last year in San Antonio, take a bunch of beer, do some events. But hopefully Texas will get a chance to do it. I mean, it shows that Texas's beer scene has grown so much that the Brewers Association, which again generally what the conference are in, Denver and San Diego and Portland, these like sort of like craft beer meccas, we're looking at Texas because it's grown so much in the craft beer industry, and like
And they will soon too, again, because everyone from California just migrated over here. So.
That's where I was kind of surprised. I mean, I had a great time in Nashville, but CBC in Nashville,
yeah.
it was a really good time.
So they're trying to mix it around a little bit. Washington D.C. is really fun, but in Nashville, I got to go to the Grand Ole Opry when I got to go there for work. So that was a fun, just like check that one off the bucket list. And
But the CBC, it's like the what's that one we go to at GABF every year, John? The rare craft beer.
Denver Rare Beer Tasting.
That is like not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
And it's just a big industry booze fest.
yeah. That's it. No, that's it. I mean, it's like it's work, and you can definitely see the people like their first year or two at the conference. I'm like, okay, I'll be okay. But I mean, you're up at 7:30, 8 to go meet with vendors and go to these technical seminars, and you can generally see it like the expo hall is a little slower, a little later each day as people are like on their day 3 or 4 of the conference, and like Yeah, especially at Denver. I mean, that altitude gets to me. So
That's what I blame it on.
yeah, the altitude, not the 7
It
beers.
had nothing to do with what happened the night before.
Like I went to the CBC that was in Philly.
Yeah.
And then I remember going to CVS, and this lady's all like, just going in there looking for some like Pedialyte, and this lady's like, "What is going on? Is there like a convention for babies? Because we are all out of Pedialyte."
And then Pedialyte started marketing towards hungover adults.
So yeah, it was years ago, and they didn't know what they had, but every brewer did, right?
Yeah, that's a real move. I remember one day going into HEB and asking them where the Pedialyte lady was so sweet. It's like, "How old's your baby?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a child. I'm just preparing for a weekend in New Orleans and trying to get ahead of it." So, yeah. I am slightly responsible because I'm at least aware of what I'm doing. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And it works, though.
It does.
It definitely helps. Yeah, that's Nashville was a good one, and then it was supposed to be San Antonio, and then it was going to be San Diego, right?
Yeah.
And then they ended up canceling that one as well, moving it to Denver, and then I don't know.
Which San Diego would have been great because our new head brewer, a no label from San Diego, and he was like, "Oh, I got all the places, all the spots. It's gonna be big return home, triumphant." And it was like, yeah. And then the year did its turn like it always does, but then everything combined was like, oh, it's gonna be a super, it's the, and then no.
Yeah. And then no.
So just don't get your hopes up about anything yet. So we're getting there, but
Yeah, not quite yet.
But if Drink of Ages can come back, anything can.
yeah,
That's true.
that's what everyone was waiting on. I think now that this is back, everyone else feels good about.
I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I've seen a lot more people out the last month.
They were waiting for you to come out of your cave, John.
Yeah. I come out, my beard's still the same length. I looked exactly the same as I did when I went in. Still homeless.
Yeah, that is not a quarantine beard. That's that's actually shorter.
I bet his
think
beard
it
is long and white now. Yeah. But it was long and white. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
not much change. Yeah, it is exciting. There are more events going on. Like there's a margarita, tequila, and taco festival I think coming up here in Houston.
Okay,
I love all those things.
Relevant to my interests.
Yes, that's happening. There's a few other festivals that are actually they're putting out there. So it's gonna be some get out, do some more stuff, hang out with people, walk around. See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I dig it.
No, it feels like you see more of that every day. So we're excited to see what comes out. I mean, beer festivals. I mean, like it feels like it's been years since I've been to one of those.
I think Wild West. I keep on saying one Wild West, but no, just Wild West.
You can.
No, I can't. But yeah, that's coming tentatively. I think this November. I want to say.
Yeah. No, all the big industry events. I know there's the big Texas Craft Brewers Guild Festival in Austin, usually in September, and that's like tentative still.
I'm still waiting for guild meetings to come back.
Yeah, monthly guild meetings. Again, just an excuse to hang out and drink beer with buddies on a Monday.
The last one was at a Spindle Tap, and it was a super spread loving event.
I'm not even gonna comment. Yeah, it was a good time though. But that was the last one, and that was March of last year.
The last one was in March, but then they took a 2-month break, and then we was like, hey, let's get back to normal because when everything started reopening. And then we did. I think it was like May. And then we came out like it was like the groundhog or whatever. Just coming. I was like, nope. And I was like, shut this down. And all last year was kind of So it's like our brewer over here. He's like, hey, where do all the industry people meet up? I'm like, oh, we have a guild meeting. He's like, oh, when's that? We haven't had it in a year.
Yep. All right, let's take another break and. Man, I don't know. What beer is going to be next?
I don't know. Good question. Man, we just kegged some fresh Space Train IPA. That's our session West Coast. So
John is not in.
Next.
Space Train. I can get on that Space Train.
I bet you can get on many trains.
This is Drink of Ages. We'll be right back. You may have noticed there have been quite a few changes at No Label, and they are steadily pumping out tasty brews. With their new head brewer, Trailer, bringing in his West Coast brewing skills, Taps have been flowing with lots of hoppy deliciousness like Cali Boy West Coast IPA. I'm real excited about what they're doing on the west side. Tap Room is open 7 days a week, very family and dog friendly. Make the short trip to Katy and see what is happening at No Label. Follow them on social media for events and beer releases. No Label Brewing Company. This week's brew hops at True Anomaly, fresh off the canning line is Sally, a kettle soured American ale with strawberry and whole cut rhubarb to create a mildly sweet and tart treat, just like Grandma used to make. Sally Kristen Ride was an American astronaut and physicist. She joined NASA in 1978 and became the first American woman in space in 1983 aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. That is something we can all definitely raise a glass to. If you're heading out to watch the Astros, Rockets, or Dynamos, stop by for a beer before the game and walk to the stadiums. Trivia every Tuesday, DJ Cherry Bounce on Thursdays. Check out their website, trueanomalybrewing.com. Valentin's Brewery is a small but growing family-owned nano brewery in Pearland, Texas, making award-winning beers in all different styles. Always something new to try on tap. Bring the family and the dogs while enjoying the spacious backyard while the new tap room is being built. If you're into the sour stuff, Valentin's is releasing 2 Berliners, a pear and an apple. These beers are like adult Gatorades. Make the short drive to Valentin's and try some award-winning, very tasty brews. Valentins.com, VALLENSONS.com.
Hey, this is Blake Harris, the general manager at Rudyard's British Pub. Just want to invite you guys out to our Thursday night steak and pint night. It's $25 for a 16-ounce New York strip, party potatoes, Caesar salad, and a free pint. As well, starting at 7 o'clock, we've got $4 pints all night long. Right now, we're doing about 20 on draft, and in the near future, we will be increasing that number. So come check us out. We're at 2010 Wall Drive in Montrose.
All right, we are back. You are listening to the Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 97.5. I'm John Denman, Tom Painter,
Yes.
co-host, DJ Muscratch, the producer, Casey Motes, our guest,
Me.
Eureka Heights.
Here we are.
Eureka Heights Brewing Company. I was sitting there, I had it in my head, but man, I started drinking this next beer, some Space Train. But how many years have you guys been in business?
We opened in August 2016 when we sold our first beer. We were business in 2015 that didn't make money for a long time. But then we had our first check August 3rd, 2016. That one's framed upstairs. We forgot to cash it, so we ever need to do that. We'll just break
Wait,
that
there's
glass.
an upstairs to this place?
There is, yeah. You know, yeah, it's going to be our 5-year anniversary this year in August, which is crazy to think about. How much things have changed, and Houston beer scene in general, where it was and where it's gone, and just the amount of killer beer that's out in the world now.
Definitely the Houston market has changed drastically, and over the last decade, and then the last 5 years, you've seen it just explode even more. And even this last year in the pandemic, we saw several more breweries open up, with some opening up right now.
Yeah.
Well, you
Like two
can't
or three
stop
there.
those business plans, Like, people were probably ready to go, and it's like, what do you do, right? I feel sorry for people like Local Group that kind of, they opened 1 month before the world just completely shut down. But then
with a great location, great concept, really good food, really good beer, and then all of a sudden they can't be open.
But then there's breweries that are like, opening up like Senate, which we were at last night, that like opened up during like this pandemic on the other side. And that guy has been able to, who's also the mayor of Jersey Village, he was telling us that he's been able to use that brewery as almost like a public resource, as like for RO water and hot food, and he's having a surge because he's on the right end of the. It's a wild year.
Yeah, I think when you're right, business plans, it takes years of planning and got to find money and a location and deal with permits and equipment and all this. So, I mean, a year is crazy, but that's in the grand scheme of things, it's likely a 2-3 year process. And depending where you're at, I know people that were working on it and decided to just kind of delay that a year, kind of wait and see where things shake out. It might be personal, might be some other factors involved too. I mean, but yeah, you're right. As people did open, and I mean, breweries are community. They're public houses. They're supposed to bring people together. So Senate Avenue was a great example of that. I mean, they opened up during pandemic when I don't think they could allow people to come inside and drink their beer when they first opened up. And they were based around people showing up at their place, going inside and drinking beer.
Yeah.
But they still were able to do something, sell beer to go, and you saw people support them, and they were doing things the right way, offering water during the freeze and all that.
Well, during the freeze, it's like Backfish, which is over near John. Like, they have an RO system over there, so they're like, "Here, we got some water. Like it's good to go. Come in and take it." Well,
I went by there, filled up 10 gallons, came home, and I was like, man, that Pearland water really sucks compared to this RO water. It's like, this stuff doesn't have a smell. What are we doing, Pearland?
I'm not used to my water so odorless.
Yeah, it was like Kool-Aid tastes like Kool-Aid.
That's how you know you're home. It's that home water smell.
The home water.
Yeah.
Turn the shower on and get that sulfur. Yeah.
But we were talking during the break about how during the pandemic, like you guys were on this incredible aggressive release schedule.
Yeah.
How you guys had like all the thought bubbles in the bank of like, here's beers we can do in 21, 22, 23. And all of a sudden it was just like, shoot all the nuts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. As things are going down, our production slowed down, and so we had extra tanks, extra capacity. We were fortunate we had just installed a bunch of pilot tanks in early March last year, something we wanted to really grow. Part like yeast management to help us on the back end of production, part to do some experimental. And it turned into like, what can we do to get people coming out? We opened up our drive-through the week after the city we got shut down the first time. And man, we were blown away by the amount of people that came out to support, and everyone's stuck at home watching Tiger King. They were excited to have some day beers, working from home, whatever, for their 2 weeks they were going to work from home, figure that out. And but what we saw is that people were asking like, what's new? And something we always try to do in the tap room is do some experimental stuff, maybe a real pilot batch. It might be, one keg. We were able to do these, package them in cans, release them out the drive-through. People could try something new, something to get excited about last April and May when we were all kind of in this funk. We have an in-house designer, and she, I don't think was expecting.
It's like, well, you must have.
Yeah. Jen Lugos designed our logo when we first started out. She joined us a year and a half ago, and been fortunate to have her on board just to be able to knock out these things and have fun with it, try weird stuff. We could do a variant of a base beer. We could do a completely new beer. We did a lot of triple dry hop mini boss, sort of like what John was talking about with the experimental stuff. Pick this cool, fun new hop, highlight this base beer that we always have around, so we could do this, showcase this new ingredient, and people get excited about it. And I think without the support of our regulars and a lot of people that are here tonight that come by and take care of our team, we were able to get through it, and all said it was okay last year. Considering our tap room was shut down, half the year, 6 or 7 months out of the year.
Yeah, we just had our annual big board meeting, and I'm coming in the same note. All things being considered, knock on wood, kind of dodged a bullet.
Well, it's great whenever you can look back and go, that year was okay, and be proud about it. and know that it could have been a whole lot worse.
I think it's one of the most not fun things. I guess exciting things about pandemic and shutdowns is like watching people at No Label, how you adapt, and sort of when your feet are to the fire. Restaurants selling frozen daiquiris to go. All these things that some of the laws changed, allowed flexibility for businesses to operate in different ways they couldn't. 8 Row Flint, we were grabbing from frozen drinks from there and getting takeout from Huey's down the street and going home and having kind of a nice little Wednesday that would have been like us going out and about before. So just watching people adapt was inspiring, and it's cool how creative people in the industry can be.
And we did. I know every weekend we would do drive-through visits where we'd all right, let's go visit 3 breweries because everyone's a drive-through right now.
Yeah.
And also it was like R&D though, like how's everyone else doing their drive-through system? You guys had a real good one, but then you go to others and be like, nah. You guys need more tents out here, more signage. You need to get a good flow on controlling traffic.
Yeah. Flow traffic. No, our drive-through, we were able to keep pretty much our whole team working, and that's obviously a huge goal of last year. And we've never run a drive-through before. That was never in the business model. So trying to figure this out, and I think it was either taproom manager or events coordinator. They're like, well, we don't know what we're doing, so we're just going to go set up outside, and we're going to post a picture on Instagram and see what happens. And immediately people were all about it. You can order online. Still now we're going to have it, and something we're going to keep probably forever moving forward.
Same here. We've converted. We had a parking space outside our office that we are converting just to. You just pull up, park, call the tap room. They deliver beers to you.
Yeah.
You get up and go because it works and people like it. It's convenient.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, you mentioned Huey's. I don't see them getting rid of their drive-through.
So you've seen like changes in completely. Yeah, they I think redid their parking lot recently to kind of help with that, add more outdoor seating, and these are now some permanent changes. I think businesses have seen that consumers' preferences may have shifted. I mean, curbside from from the grocery stores. I mean, I know a lot of people who don't plan to go grocery shopping in the store anymore. I love it, so I do, but I don't know if my wife is. So it's sort of like these changes that sort of got expedited.
I do a lot of Amazon Fresh, so it's just kind of like they're like repeat the last order. Hold on, what did I buy? Where did I buy? Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I needed stuff for banana pudding the other day, and I knew the stores were going to be crazy, so I just did it online, ordered it, drove up, they had it, put it in the car, and I'm like, okay, that is actually pretty easy. Much easier than trying to fight, go in and they have like 3 lanes open and all of them self-scan and nobody knows how to scan anything. They can get so a lot of changes that happen, I think, are going to be beneficial for a lot of businesses. With the drive-thrus, I think that's one of the coolest things that you could possibly do is just drive through a brewery, get crowlers and beers to go, and just keep driving.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've got a couple kids now, and if I've got them with me, and it's just a different outing if we're trying to go inside somewhere and visit. And sometimes that's great. That's what we want to do. And sometimes I just really want to try a new beer that's gotten released that I'm excited about, and it gets me a chance to go support another local brewery.
It was like a year ago last weekend. I was celebrating 11 Below's anniversary in their drive-through. Like Jeff's out there. Tom, you're here. I was like, happy birthday, man. It's like just the way you intended, huh?
Yeah.
And he's like, absolutely.
High five 6 feet away. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's when you just like take a rubber glove and just throw it at them and and then drive off.
And then when the cold snap hit, like we did this very quick. It's like, what do we do? It's like because we had some of our pipes burst, so our restrooms were out. Then can't open the tap room. So it was like, I guess let's do a drive-through throwback. And we were very good because of all that in and out that the governor kind of put us through with like, you're closed, you're not closed, you're closed again. Like we were very good at converting the tap room to a drive-through on a dime. So it was like, all right, cold snap drive-through. We're just drive-through only, yada yada. And we have a big yard. We have vendors and food trucks and stuff like that. And so everyone just huddles in this driveway path. And so you go through like a car wash lane where you can like get all your stuff and like and move on. But it was a horrible year, but it was weird fun to be had in all those challenges.
I think it was instead of the challenges were consistent, but it was cool to see when you had something that worked because we tried a lot of things that we had never thought about or these ideal like pretty far down on the brainstorming list. Just throw it against the wall.
Well, Casey, you released 84 beers last year. Pat yourself on the back.
It was 87. I think it was a lot of beers, but virtual tastings. We did some of those that were fun, and we found some other virtual partnerships that have kind of worked out well. Something again would have never happened, and we can do these sort of without necessarily trying to get 80 people together. That we did one with a PTA association, and they could do a fundraiser, and we could just be a part of it, and they could do something that was still beneficial while people could still be at home, and that might be something they're doing in 2 or 3 years from now, just from the ease of it, versus trying to rent a space and do a big event. So that's really cool. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, let's take another quick break and get back. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The space train, man.
On the
second
second
floor.
floor.
Getting to me. This is what I'm going to say. I'm just going to blame it on the space train. We are going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll be still
You said
hanging
that
out.
twice now, John.
You just want to close this one out, Tom? Go ahead.
We will see you guys at the final segment of Drink of Ages Radio at Eureka Heights.
That's what I meant to say. Special announcement from Platypus Brewery. F off, mate. The latest taproom release is an American Hefeweizen that is chalky in appearance, generously dry hopped, imparting citrus and stone fruit flavors in a light and refreshing beer. Very easy on the palate. Also hitting the taproom at Platypus is Rough End of the Pineapple, a pineapple jalapeno sour. It sounds crazy, but it works very well, especially when you pair it with the chicken wings. Food specials all week long, including Chicken Parmy Tuesdays, Surf and Turf Wednesdays, Texas Barbecue Thursdays, and Fish and Chips Fridays. PlatypusBrewing.com, open Tuesdays through Sunday. Have an event in mind and looking for a place that is fun and beer is involved? Host your next event at a brewery. At Spindletap, they have full venue rental and partial rental options that are perfect for company events, birthday parties, weddings, receptions, and more. Host a memorable event at a venue that offers a fun atmosphere and many amenities. Email info@spindletap.com or call 713-325-1477 to get more details. Eureka Heights has been making interesting and approachable and fun beer since 2016. If you like awards, they got them. How about 2 gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival, the largest beer competition in the United States? The beers include flagships like Buckle Bunny Cream Ale, one of my all-time favorites, Mini Boss IPA, to seasonals like Neon Moon Belgian Single, plus launching soon, Fizzy Pants Hard Seltzer. You can find their tasty beverages all across Houston or at the tap room located in the Heights. The tap room is currently open Thursday through Sunday and is probably jamming out to some yacht rock right now, keeping it smooth and mellow. Eureka Heights, grab some beers and some high fives. Happy 5th anniversary to Bobby and the gang at Back Pew Brewing up in Porter. Badass place to go and have some excellent pints. While you're there, try the anniversary beer Rand, a Belgian Golden Strong Ale fermented in fresh toasted oak barrels and bottle conditioned. Clocking it at a nice 9% ABV, this is one excellent beer. Also be on the lookout for Chola, a Mexican-style lager that is way too crushable, especially as temperatures are rising. Check it all out at backpewbrewing.com or stop by the Sanctuary for some pints. You are here hanging out with Drink of Ages Radio Show.
What?
I don't know. It's just I looked up and everybody started laughing.
It's the fourth segment's always the giggly one.
You know what? That part is actually true. I mean, it happens every single time.
Weird.
It's
like,
the
you
final
guys ready to get
countdown.
started? And then it's like, yeah, let's get started by serious. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, this is Drink of Age Radio Show here on ESPN 97.5. And then everybody starts laughing. It's like,
that is still the case.
That is still what's going on. And we are still here at Eureka Heights, hanging out. Casey Motes.
Yeah.
We've gone
Tom
through
something or other.
Tom.
Yes,
Painter.
Tom something or other. Just like my dad called me when I grew up. Yeah, thank
That's
you
not
guys
what he
for
called you.
No, he called me Axe Hat. It's nice being out here. Thank you guys for having us out and actually opening when you guys aren't supposed to be open.
Yeah, we open the doors on a Tuesday. It's fun, hang out with some buddies and drink beer, and I mean that's always a reason to do that. Yeah.
Well,
Tuesdays, I'm usually like cooking dinner right now, so instead of that, I'm working.
Working hard,
this
but
is hard work.
What are you going to be cooking later, though?
Not tonight. That's
Oh,
tomorrow. That's a punt situation. We're just gonna go ahead and pick up something on the way home.
We're about to do the 5th segment over at your house, the barbecue segment.
So here we are at Casey's dinner table. Beautiful wife.
She doesn't look very happy right now. We're all here, set up microphones in her living room.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I can only I can only understand like what I've been through myself, and my own wife, and how she would behave, and yeah, she wouldn't be too happy with that either.
Yeah.
But it's work,
Well,
baby.
mostly because she
It's
knows
work.
you, I think, is the issue.
Well, she doesn't
So-
listen to the show, so
Yeah.
that's also John's only refuge in defense.
Oh man, yeah. Here we are, Eureka Heights. What
Oh, my
beer
God.
did I get? The hazy IPA.
Hazy IPA?
Yes.
John, look directly down.
I don't think
That's not it.
that's
That's
not the hazy
it.
IPA.
So,
But
John, look directly down.
For the last
Directly down.
segment, we got a.
Oh, I see that.
I think today it hit 90 degrees, so I got us some of our barrel-aged Imperial Milk Stout.
Oh, my
It's,
God.
12%. This is actually the keg we have on tap was brewed in 2017. We released it in 2018. 12%, lots of roast, aged in Woodford Reserve barrels for about 12 months. So I figure it's a nice day to ring in summer. So we got a little pour of this guy. So it'll wake you up.
Cheers,
put you to
boys.
sleep. Cheers.
You know, it's been
Great
fun.
final segment.
Yeah.
It's I've enjoyed myself here at Eureka Heights.
Yeah, as John loves the low ABV beers we make.
And we'll all enjoy ourselves in Casey's living room later.
Yeah, I think you're driving us home, right?
I don't think anyone knows my address, so as long as that stays, yeah.
Well, but I think that says like you're driving us home, and that means you're home. That's where we're going. I remember Nuke the Wells. This was the first time you guys brewed it, though, right? Was 2017?
We actually, released it. Nuke the Wells, which is a dumb Simpsons reference. We've got about 20 Simpsons references spread throughout our beers. But, it was our first anniversary. We wanted to do something barrel-aged. So about 2 months after we actually brewed our first batch, we got some bourbon barrels, threw some beer in there, just to kind of see what happened. We didn't know what a barrel aging program would look like at the time. And we love milk stouts, love these big roasty beers, how they pair, how great they taste the 3 months of winter we get, or 3 weeks of winter, or whatever we got this year. So we got some bourbon barrels, made the beer, threw it in there, our first anniversary, and it was really fun to do this. We had variants, we had different types of barrels, we did this big tasting, and it was a really cool way to kind of geek out with some people before our main anniversary party and hang out. And then since then, it's sort of turned into a Black Friday release because we talked about doing something for Black Friday, and we're like, the beer is, we said, none more black, just as black as it can get. So we do this day after Thanksgiving, a barrel-aged release every year, throw a big party, show up. I think we do some merch sales, and you can stock up all your Christmas presents and all that. So become a little annual release, really the only kind of annual barrel-aged release we do.
The first time that you guys released this, I came by, and we sampled some.
Yeah.
Hung out for a little bit. This is one of the breweries that I regularly just kind of pop into.
that is accurate.
Like when you're not open.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey guys, what's going on?
Like last week.
Sometimes they're canning, Mini Boss, and that's a great day when you can pull a can of Mini Boss right off the line. But I came here and picked up those bottles, and I still have several of those bottles from the very first release.
Yeah, we don't have many here because we kind of do cellar releases every once in a while. We did that some in the drive-through Black Friday, but we've only got a handful of probably bottles left in the back of our cooler.
This right here would be great over some vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Let's get the ice cream.
Do you have any ice cream with you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Yes. I carry French fries and ice cream with me everywhere I go.
One like your pocket tots.
Yeah,
you just
pocket vanilla.
No, it's fun, and we actually right now we've got a version of this beer from 2020. So it was different barrels. So we actually got some Balcones whiskey barrels for that version. So we kind of keep the main recipe the same, and we work with different suppliers to find what bourbon barrels are available, what's fresh at the time. So it's always neat to see. It's very similar, but you actually get some subtle differences from the different bourbons, just like, when you're drinking them. So.
Well, that and, give them 1 year, extra year to age in the bottle.
Yeah, they mellow out usually a little bit. And when we make these beers, we try to make sure they're drinkable early on. Sometimes with these 12, 13% beers, they can be very aggressive. They taste kind of hot, like a little intense. And we try to give enough time from when we actually put it in the barrel to when we release it. But it's always a challenge with these big beers. They can be a little abrasive early on, and then 6 months later, a year later, they might mellow out in a good way. Sometimes it just changes it in a way that you weren't intending, but it's always fun to watch. So it certainly is. We kind of had an open tap. We dig around in the back of the cooler and see what something fun we could put on, especially for tonight. Do something cool and kind of limited for our crew.
Well, the beer's delicious. I can say these beers are going down pretty easy.
It's one of those where I need to set it over here and go back.
No, put it directly in front of you, John.
I know this isn't I don't even know what beer it is that I have.
No one knows.
Yeah, it's
a mystery beer.
Well, it's that hazy IPA, obviously.
We have the mystery tap. It's kind of like the little lollipop flavors that are just mystery. You never know what you're going to get. It's like between the runs, so it's probably from that.
Well, sometimes those are the best.
Yeah. Is it coconut? Is it cherry? No one knows. It's never the flavor you want it to be.
I think it's the Hypothesis series
This is making
Mini
great
boss.
radio.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Does it kind of look like that color?
that sounds good. Yeah.
It sounds good.
No one can confirm or deny that. I think you're good. If you say it confidently, we'll all believe you.
Except for, before it worked out great because it was all on the radio and I can say anything, but now there's video evidence of what actually happened.
You staring at the menu like,
Yeah, it's the, no, we drank like 2 or 3 beers during the whole show. Now there's video evidence that says
I didn't
otherwise.
realize these were actually recording, so
oh yeah, there's
just
4
props.
of them.
all of a sudden I don't know what to do with my hands all of a sudden.
Well, we've learned that certain heights of tables are, are good and bad with the cameras. If you want to have the good crotch shot through the whole time, the higher tables are good.
Yeah, we were over at Megaton and it was Crotch Shot City. I should say.
Yeah,
Which is the
one of
name
the
of
most
their
infamous
beers,
shows.
right?
Yeah. Jason came over and was like, "Hey, we have a crotch situation." I was like, "Oh no, what's happening?" So it was like we cover up and go to the side, and you never know. But yeah, these are 4 amazing cameras capturing all the fidelity of.
You can watch all this on our YouTube channel.
This is an IMAX or 3D? How does this work?
Everything. VR. If you watch this in VR, then we're in your bedroom with you.
It feels so
having
real,
beers.
yeah.
So it's and somehow we figured out how to touch too. So
Yeah,
it's OnlyFans, Drink of Ages. You want to really get involved?
Once we launch that Drink of Ages Plus experience, you can unlock the Casey Motes living room segment where we intrude on him and the dinner with his kids.
That's the real VIP experience right there. That only we can offer.
Pork chop smell really
Pork
comes
chops.
through the VR helmet.
Man, is that bacon in those green beans? I think it.
That's great. Is it bedtime? Do we have to watch John like put your kids to sleep?
Yeah. Just watch. We're sitting there brushing our teeth, getting ready for bed.
Good nursery rhymes. That's good.
The good thing is, or not really good. The sad part is somebody would pay for that to be part of this.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matthew.
Oh man. All right, Casey. Now, man, appreciate you having us out here for this week's show. And then
We covered a lot.
I'm not
I
lying
got a lot
about
of things done.
There's a lot of productive conversation.
Well, we started strong.
well, yeah. I think we put together some very great money making ideas.
Yeah.
In this, add some merch to that, and man, we'll do well.
Yeah, listen, Casey's living room double IPA.
Yeah.
Would be a great beer.
I think that's the name of the next beer. Is Casey's Couch.
The label.
Casey's Couch is a great name for a beer.
It's been a while since you've been on a beer label, so you can just do that, laying down.
Oh man, I mean, what's our? Appreciate you, man. It's been a whole lot of fun. Beer's fantastic. If you've never been out to Eureka Heights, man, it's just right here. I mean, it's in the Heights. It's where are we? 18th Street.
18th and Shepherd, just down the street. Tap room's open Thursday through Sunday. Come check us out. Beers all over Houston, Galveston, Beaumont. So, come drink beer.
Come drink beer at Eureka Heights. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody that came out here today to hang out with us. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Good to see a bunch of familiar faces. Good to see a bunch of some DOA mugs out there as well. And you can listen to any of the old shows sponsored by No Label Brewing Company by going to drinkofages.com, SoundCloud, iTunes,
all the
various
platforms.
Other, I don't know.
MySpace. Video on YouTube.
Just check it out on Alta Vista.
The new YouPorn station is there. But no, I want to thank everybody for listening. And next week we will be at House of Blues.
We will be.
With Galveston Island Brewing Company and music guest Robert Kuhn. So come by, check it out. We'll talk to everybody next week.
Music is back at Drink of Ages.
Yeah.
That was a lot, man.
Drink up! It's a drink of ages! Drink of ages!
John Bargerstock from KT Wellness is back with us, and John, tell us how testosterone replacement therapy can be beneficial for those who need it.
Great question. Well, a lot of guys think that it's just treating an area below the belly button region, but actually what it is treating area from head to toe. There's a lot of, symptoms that can creep up over the years because of the deficiency, but really what it helps is a multitude of things. It helps us with our mental clarity and staying focused throughout the day. It helps us avoid fatigue and be energetic throughout the day. Of course, it helps our libido and performance in the bedroom. There's studies that show it's great for the heart. It has a multitude of benefits, and of course there are risks, but the benefits far outweigh those risks.
So that's what you guys do at KT, though. You can come in, get your numbers tested, and see if you're actually a good candidate for this.
Yep. Actually, we make sure everybody qualifies for treatment before we offer that treatment. We don't just allow anyone to come in off the street and get testosterone therapy. It is a therapy, which means we bring people back to normalized, and I like to use the word optimized levels, not just normalized levels. So if they're deficient, we check their number. We verify that with a blood test. There has to be presence of symptoms. And then we put those two pieces of information and decide whether or not this person is a good candidate for treatment.
Well, that's fantastic because John and I, we kind of share birthdays. He's one day before, and we just had it. And so we're getting older, and things aren't, it's not quite like it
Recovery
used to
time
be.
is not as quick as it used to be.
No, of course. But no, it's it's something every guy should know their number, where they are now, because with each decade of life, our levels drop anywhere from 10 to 20%. So it's a pretty drastic change, once you hit your late 30s and beyond.
Well, you can find out more information at KTWellness.com, and this portion of the show, the Men's Health Minute, is sponsored by KT Wellness. Unlock your potential.
Thanks, John, for having me.